Cathy Unruh. Welcome to First Look at Tampa's redevelopment. We start out here in Ybor City, where all eyes are on Ybor City's Business Watch program. Then it's over to the majestic Floridan Palace on North Florida Avenue. And finally, we'll make our way to the Channel District to lounge around a little bit at BoConcept. It's all ahead on First Look at Tampa's redevelopment. We are in Ybor City at the Tampa Bay Brewing Company with Tampa Police Officer Sean Mahabir, who coordinates the Ybor City Business Watch program. Tell us what that is.
Well, the Business Watch program was created in December of 2011. It was when I first came to Ybor City as a community police officer, I noticed that there were some walls within the community, and I wanted to break those down. And got in touch with all the business owners here and decided to, why not make Ybor City a safer place?
What were the walls?
Well, you know, there are certain divisions in Ybor City that are just existent. You know, there are, it's a very eclectic place, first of all, so you have a lot of diversity here in Ybor City. And then you have organizations that have formed throughout Ybor City, and some of them cooperate and talk, and then some of them didn't do as much. And I wanted to kind of bring it more of a community, create that community atmosphere amongst everyone. And what's the common theme in that would be safety. Everybody wants more safety. So
you started the Business Watch program, and
That's
tell us
correct.
how that works.
Well, the Business Watch program works basically by registering with your email list and phone numbers for each business, not necessarily the property, but the actual business that's a tenant maybe. They will then register for the sticker, is what I call it, and there's a serial number that's attached to that sticker that lists that business owner, their name, their contact information, and so forth. If anything were to happen to that particular location at night, let's say 3 o'clock in the morning, now officers, rather than having to wait for that business owner to arrive the next morning, they can make one phone call by using that serial number that's attached and let them know that something has occurred to their business.
And how is this helping the community come together more? Are businesses starting to look out for each other?
Yes, absolutely. There's more eyes and more ears, because now you've got close to 200 businesses in Ybor City that want to be members of the Business Watch program. Because not only is it a mechanism for officers to contact the business owners, but it's also a way for them to contact each other. There's an email tree that encapsulates all of them. There's a Facebook page. So now business owners are talking to each other. And so the next door neighbor is no longer just a competitor, but they're actually a member with you.
It's like Neighborhood Watch. We all know about
Exactly.
Neighborhood Watch. It's taking that concept and transferring it to businesses.
Exactly. Crime is down 64% in the city of Tampa, and we've seen a huge decline in crime.
Now, when you say crime is down 64% in the city of Tampa, let's
That's
narrow
correct.
that down to Ybor City.
Even more so in Ybor City. Even more so. I don't know the exact percentage, but even more so in Ybor City.
So it's a much safer place to be?
It is a much safer place to be.
People are paying attention to each other more than they did
Yes,
before?
yes, they are.
Any downside to this at all?
I don't see it yet. I really don't. I think it has been a great opportunity to meet all these business owners and see that there's a common thread, and that common thread is safety. We have had business owners that have gone out on their own and purchased cameras to help other businesses catch graffiti artists. You know, when you look at Ybor City, we deal with the graffiti artists, we deal with the panhandlers and so forth. Well, business owners are now becoming stronger because there are more in numbers that are attending the meetings and that really want to see this change occur. So now business owners are actually putting cameras outside the exterior of their buildings, wanting to catch a graffiti artist that's not even graffitiing their building. So it's teamwork. And we actually caught that particular person. There was one guy that was running around Ybor City, causing thousands of dollars worth of damage. And it was one of the cameras that a business owner put up.
Well, great.
And we happened to catch him. So
thank you. Good work.
Great. Thank you so much.
We are downtown in the Floridan Palace, a hotel which opened in July. This is Ybor Poulos. He's the owner and manager. Took a lot of work to get here, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Actually, we were at it for 7 years. 7 years. It was a labor of love for my father, to say the least.
Why?
At the time, we had properties on Clearwater Beach that we sold back in '04. He was retired for approximately 2 weeks. At that point, he said, I'm getting bored. I feel like I'm going to get rusty. We said, okay, Dad, that's fine. Let's find a little project for you to do. Needless to say, he brought us out here to show us the Floridan Hotel. The family all looked at it like we thought he was out of his mind. The place looked like, a Scud missile had hit the place. It was just in disarray. A week later, he again brought us to the Florida and said, I want to surprise you guys. I bought the property, and here we are today.
So were you in the hotel business prior to this?
Correct.
Okay. And Dad only lasted 2 weeks on the beach.
Yeah, 2 weeks retired on the beach. We were in the hotel business for 20 years on the beach.
Right, but 2 weeks and I got to do something. So as I've heard the story, this was boarded up. You walked in, it was full of birds and bird droppings, and it was just really horrendous.
Yeah, we had a lot of different, let's just say, animals living in here. We had the turkey vultures that would migrate down here from up north, and this was their residence up on the roof. Took many years of loud music on the rooftop just to chase them away. People used to think that this place was haunted because they would hear music coming from the 20th floor. So
I'm glad you did it in a nice way, though.
Right,
That's a good way to tell them to go somewhere
Absolutely.
else. So what you've done is tried to restore much of this to its original detail.
Correct.
Tell us what that took.
Just the ceilings alone, it took 2 years. There were 2 guys on a scaffolding, on their backs, constantly airbrushing and then gold leafing everything. What was missing, the plaster that was missing, was actually replaced, recast, and then actually, like I said, it's all been painted by hand and airbrushed here.
And I think to fully appreciate this, we need to know a little bit about the history of the Floridan. For instance, it was the tallest building in Tampa until 1966.
Correct. For almost 30 years, it stood as the tallest building in all of Florida, not just in Tampa. Then it actually closed in the late 60s, early 70s, and it closed down, became like a flop house, this, that, and the other. So yes, it was in quite a disarray.
But when did it originally open?
In 1927 was the first opening of the Floridan.
And it was very grand, and it had celebrities coming through.
Correct. We had famous celebrities. Elvis Presley stayed here, Gary Cooper, Jimmy Stewart, the gangster days, the Capone, and all the gangsters used to stay here. So Babe Ruth, Roosevelt, there was a lot of celebrities that stayed at the property. It was the infamous Sapphire Lounge, which is downstairs. Back in the days of the military, it was called the Surefire Room. You were sure to get lucky if you went to the Surefire Room.
Okay, that's a better meaning than what I thought at first. Gangsters, Surefire, Sapphire,
right,
I don't know. So
right.
This is really rich.
Correct. There's a lot of history. This was the grandeur property of Tampa at the time.
And you're hoping to bring it to what stage now?
Well, we've brought it back to its original glory and then some, I believe. So at this point, we've had a lot of events and weddings that are actually planned through October in the next year. So very, very happy. During the RNC, we had NBC staying here with us. So for the hotel at this point, I can say it's definitely been a success.
And we should point out it's not just a hotel. You can come in for lunch or dinner.
Correct. Actually, lunch and dinner from 11 to 11.
And what's your favorite place in the hotel?
I don't know. This is one of my favorite spots. I also like the lobby bar with all the cedar ceilings and everything. This was called the Crystal Dining Room, and we've also renamed it the Crystal Dining Room again. Because
of the chandeliers?
Correct.
It's kind of, when you stand up here with all the little cherubs and everything, it is a little bit like being in heaven. You almost sort of want to Plunge out there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is very, very beautiful. We're very, very proud. My father, like I said, it was a labor of love for him. He was in here for 7 years, from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, 7 days a week.
And Dad is still around to enjoy it?
Dad is still around, absolutely.
Great. Angela, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you.
We are in the very comfortable location of BoConcept with Ray Priddle, the owner, a furniture store in Channelside. Why Channelside?
Well, Channelside's been on our horizon for quite a long time. Originally, when we were coming to Tampa, that's 6, 7 years ago, we were looking at Channelside because you could see it was developing and happening. We decided on a mall location back then simply because the name was new to Tampa, so we were looking for a location where we got foot traffic and people coming in the store to see the product. After 5 years being in the mall, the opportunity came up to move on, and when we looked at our customer base, people were coming from all over the state, so being in the mall wasn't really that relevant for us. And we re-looked at Channelside, and what we found at Channelside was the development reoccurring. You know, we've had a hiatus for 5 years, much like the rest of the world. But you can see there are new developments coming in. The Related group are building a big project down the road. There's another project going on behind us. So it looks like it's moving in the right direction again. And then we found a good landlord, a good space, and I suppose the icing on the cake is the 33602 zip code. It was our highest selling zip code anyway. So we've relocated in that area.
Highest selling zip code of anywhere?
For outdoor, anywhere in Florida, yeah.
And partly because there's so much residential space around here. What's happening around you is condos, apartments.
Yeah, and of course it's a growing area, and also it's got that modern aesthetic, so that fits well with us. You know, we're essentially urban design, so you know there's a good fit in the functionality of our furniture, the look of our furniture.
Let's talk a little bit about your furnishings. Where do they come from? What's unique about them?
Well, basically, BoConcept is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year, and it's a Danish-based company, so it's Danish design essentially. Since 1952 they've been doing this now. What's unique about them, getting Danish design at the price point that we managed to do it is quite a feat. And then, you know, all the designs are unique to us. There's lots of customization that we can do, and then, you know, the whole system fits together. And then the final thing is there's lots of functional furniture that make sort of tighter spaces work very well.
And what's unique about Danish design? What makes that special?
Well, I suppose it's caught up in sort of that modern design, but you know, Danish design is essentially, you know, inspired by the mid-century modern. So it's lots of simple, clean lines, fairly muted colours, whereas you see some other sort of modern contemporary design that's very brash and bright and shiny. And we're a lot more muted, and it's about living well, having a comfortable home, somewhere you can relax in, even though it's got that clean modern aesthetic.
And you can come in here and not just buy a sofa, you can do basically the whole house.
Yeah, that's something we do quite a lot with people. I mean, we offer a free design consultation service. We've got a 3D modelling system, so we can recreate someone's home in quite good quality. And we can do the entire house, you know, rugs, accessories, lighting, so we can do the whole package. And the great thing is it all coordinates and works well together. So
we should tell people your address.
We're on Kennedy, 1208 East Kennedy Boulevard, and we're Suite 125. We're in the Grand Central building, and there's plenty of parking upstairs that nobody seems to realise. Yeah.
That's a good point, that you can park upstairs. You don't have to run around and look for space on the street.
No, there's free 2-hour parking up there, and there will be signs put up at some stage, but there are other developments taking place here. We're expecting a TV studio to move in next door sometime next year, so I think they're trying to get the signage to work for everybody.
And your hours of operation?
Monday through Friday we're 10 till 8, Saturday 10 till 7, and Sunday 12 till 6.
Well, good luck to you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for joining us for First Look at Tampa's redevelopment. We hope you'll tune in next time as we take another look at the redevelopment activities that are reshaping Tampa.